we pause to honor lives cut short and to reflect on what their loss means for us all. Some stories weigh heavily on the heart. In Cincinnati, 3 young lives were taken too soon, and their loss ripples far beyond one city. Welcome to Independent Voice. I am Mame. I want to pause from our usual discussions to reflect on a heartbreaking tragedy that shocked both the Cincinnati community and the Ethiopian diaspora here in the United States. Over the Labor Day weekend, in Cincinnati's Mount Washington neighborhood, 3 young lives were taken too soon. Bemnet Derese, just 27 years old, and sisters Eden and Faven Adunya, only 22 and 20. Eden and Faven were daughters, sisters, immigrants, and healthcare workers. They both worked as pharmacy technicians at Good Samaritan Hospital. Eden has just completed her pharmacy technician degree at Cincinnati State. Faven, her younger sister, was described as full of kindness and laughter. Bemnet was a young man who worked in a nearby store. Friends remember his joyful spirit and his heart for people. These were not just names on news report. These were young lives filled with promises and dreams cut short by violence. According to investigators, the shooting took place in a home on Beacon Street. The suspect and the motive behind the killing still under investigation. Neighbors described the sound as like firecrackers, but it was gunfire that shattered families, shook a neighborhood, and left the community in mourning. The community is left to grapple with questions with no explanation as to what the motive could be behind such heinous act of violence. At Good Samaritan Hospital, colleagues and friends are devastated. Tri-Health leadership has expressed sorrow and is providing counseling and pastoral care. In Cincinnati and across Ethiopian communities online, the grief is heavy. Messages, tributes, and prayers are pouring in, remembering these young people as bright lights whose future were ahead of them. This tragedy reminds us of bigger questions. Questions about safety, questions about the immigrant journey. Aiden, Faven, and Bemnet embodied the American dream, working hard, serving others, building a life in a new land. And yet, their lives ended violently, leaving us to wrestle with the vulnerabilities many immigrant families face in moments like this. What makes young, promising lives so vulnerable in the very places they should feel safe, their homes and neighborhoods? How do we address a culture where guns too often become the answer to anger, despair, or conflict? What responsibility do local authorities, policymakers, and communities carry to prevent tragedies like this? Have we not seen enough? Have we not heard enough? Are we not hurting enough? And what justice, if any, can be found for families when answers remain hidden? It also raises broader concerns about gun violence in America. How do we keep our neighborhoods safe? How do we keep our children protected? How do we make sure our workplaces, especially places of care like hospitals, are secure for those who dedicate their lives to serving others? And as I reflect, let's remember, language matters. How we package a message makes a difference. These were not just victims, they were daughters, sisters, brother, a friend, a colleague, and a neighbor. Their stories deserve to be told with dignity, not sensationalism. So how do we respond? We stand with the families in grief. We stand with the community of Cincinnati and the Ethiopian diaspora. We create space for mourning, for healing, and for remembrance. We can also use this moment to spark conversations about safety, about unity, and about honoring the lives of those we lose. As I close, let's remember Aiden, Faven, and Bemnet, not by the tragedy of their deaths, but by the light of their lives. May their memory change us to be more compassionate, more vigilant, and more united. Before I close, I want to share a message on behalf of all our listeners and viewers here at Independent Voice. To the families and friends of Eden, Faven, and Bemnet, to their colleagues at Good Samaritan Hospital, to the Ethiopian community across the diaspora, and to the people of Cincinnati, please accept our deepest condolences. We also extend our heartfelt wishes for healing and recovery to the fourth individual who was injured and remains in the hospital. We grieve with you. We honor their memory with you. And we stand with you in this time of unimaginable loss. We also walk with you in asking the hard questions, in seeking the answers that justice and healing require. We are waiting. We are asking. And the families, the community, everyone who happens to care deserve an answer. Make space to mourn. Take time to heal. Take time to mend. Thank you for joining me. This is Independent Voice, and I am Mommy.